Hey guys, how are we? Well, very interesting times at the moment. Beautiful sunset here in Thailand. Very balmy afternoon. Beautiful though, love Thailand, fantastic. And but you know, we may not be here forever, so a couple of weeks left here and then who knows where we'll be off to. Anyway, some interesting news coming out at the moment. So we know that Vladimir Putin is going to make an announcement on Saturday, and this is in the light of massive loss of territory about a week and a half ago. I think there was 3,000 kilometers lost to Ukraine, and the numbers, from what I understand, of fatalities from this ridiculous conflict: 75,000 Russians, 200,000 Ukrainians, and you got 50-year-old women fighting for Ukraine. Very, very tragic. Very, very tragic situation. Anyway, so apparently Vladimir Putin is going to make a significant announcement this Saturday, the 24th of September, and apparently that's a significant day for some guys in the German parliament as well, who said that whatever happens on September 24th, it's going to be a event where you will remember where you were and when it was and who you were with. So whatever that is sounds very cryptic to me. So, in saying all that, so let's look at what's happening at the moment. We're going through some very strange events. Now, I do want to talk about Yuval Noah Harari, which is the advisor to Klaus Schwab, who's the head of the World Economic Forum. You know, the guy who says by the year 2030 you'll own nothing and never be happier? That guy. So basically what he's saying is that the elite have a new technological Noah's Ark, that in the event of another extinction level event, it would be a new technological Noah's Ark to save society, or save the elite, put it that way. And I think he just specified the elite, not humanity as a whole. That's how whacked out these people are. So anyway, I want to sort of draw things back, and I want to go back quite a long period of time to give you a bit of an understanding as to why I think what's happening is happening. So if we look at this guy, I forget his name, his last name was Rich, and he was the CEO of a military industrial complex company in the US. In 1972, I think it was, he made an address at a university and basically said that we now have the ability to take ET home. There was a slight error in, I think it was string theory or something like that. There was some error, slight error, miscalculation in one of the codes. They've corrected that, and now unbelievable things are possible. So fast forward to 1985, and then basically what you get is Ronald Reagan, and he makes an announcement: we're going to have a Star Wars program. Very interesting. From that point on, what we start to see is the global economy start to go through some very interesting dynamics. So fast forward from that point on to the 10th of September 2001, and Donald Rumsfeld is giving an address to Congress and basically saying, look, in his testimony, there's $2 trillion that's gone missing, but we can't quite figure out where it's gone. Anyway, we all know what happened the following day. So, fast forward a little bit further, and there's a woman by the name of Catherine Austin Fitts, and now she is actually a very, very clever woman. She's a Christian. She's basically got a report called the Solari Report. If you're ever inclined to listen to an interview with her, strongly recommend it. She's basically come out and said, look, from 1985, what we can see is that the pension funds and a lot of bonds have been siphoned off into a secret space program. And so there's a lot of money that's just been literally sucked out of the system. And the way to cover that has been to just print more money and to, you know, pump up, you know, superannuation funds and goodness knows what else. So, okay, so that brings us to almost current day. Then there's a guy by the name of William Tompkins. Now, William Tompkins worked for the US Navy, I remember, if I remember correctly, and he also worked for some other military-industrial companies. He basically was charged with designing some of the spacecraft that often, not that often, but every now and then are spotted in our solar system under the operation of Solar Warden and Solar Shepherd. Now, these are massive, massive ships. There is some 50 hours of interviews with William Tompkins. It's available on rentsradio.com, and you can subscribe to Rents Radio with Jeff Rents. It's really not that expensive, but you get access to 50 hours of interviews with William Tompkins. Highly recommend it. But genuinely very, very credible testimony. So then you look at a guy by the name of John Leonard Wilson, and John Leonard Wilson basically, he's a bit of a genius one aspect because he's combined a lot of telescopes together and connected a video camera and filmed some of these star craft in our solar system. He's even filmed craft going along the surface of the moon. Now, I know what a lot of you people are saying. You're going, this guy is completely off with the fairies. This is crazy talk. But I just strongly suggest that perhaps you should do some research first. And I'm sorry to red pill you like this. So some very, very strange things happening. But when you put it all together, it makes perfect sense that over the last 50 years, we have seen the development of a secret space program utilizing technology that has either been discovered or captured, and I refer to Roswell 1947 and some other events, and the testimony of some whistleblowers who basically say, look, there has been archaeological discoveries where we have recovered advanced technology. So some very, very interesting stuff to research. It's a very deep rabbit hole to go down, but interesting nevertheless, and you certainly want to be very, very cautious in exploring some of this stuff because there's a lot of BS out there as well. So, but it certainly makes sense to me that, say, in the last 50 years, since the petrodollar has been brought in and we've seen certain superannuation schemes brought about to collect at least 10% of the global economy in regards to the West, a lot of that has been siphoned off into the military and industrial complex. And a lot of people say, oh, that's because they're developing weapons. I don't think so. I think it's actually about the development of space-based assets. And you can read into that whatever it is that you want. But I think Yuval Noah Harari has basically let the cat out of the bag, particularly when you look at movies like Elysium, where it's basically this spaceship that lives in the solar system, hidden away in a perfect temperate zone, and that's where the elite live with access to incredible technology like medibeds and goodness knows what else. So some very, very interesting stuff, but that is the only thing to me that makes any sense, because what we're witnessing at the moment is really a two-geared society. Those that have access to incredible technology and resources, the super elite, the super wealthy, the super rich, and then you have the common folk. And you know, when I was at university studying finance, I remember them, you know, banging on about, you know, we've got to bring the entirety of the world up into, you know, a universal living standard. So we can't have the first world and then the developing world. You know, the first world is consuming 80% of the Earth's resources, while the third world's only utilizing 20% of the world's resources. Well, you just think about these elite, how perverted this is. You've got less than 1%, maybe less than 1/10 of 1%, utilizing probably about 80 to 90% of the world's resources and stealing from the rest of the world to develop their secret space program. How absolutely deluded and debased is that? So rather than bringing all of humanity up into an advanced technological era together with anti-gravity technology, zero-point energy, and the knowledge that, hey, you know, we may not be alone in the universe, and absolutely incredible. So anyway, guys, now that I've red-pilled you, I'm sorry if I've upset you and you think that I'm a bit of a loon, but that's okay. Look, you always are presented with information in life. When you are presented with information, you have to do your best to actually discern what's true, what's not. I strongly recommend that you listen to some of the testimony and the evidence of some of those people that I have talked about in this video, whether that be was it Catherine Austin Fitz, or that be William Tompkins from being interviewed on rentsradio.com, or whether that be John Leonard Wilson. Have a look at some of his YouTube videos. Have a look at the evidence. There's a lot of evidence out there from very credible people. You know, Major George Filer, he's retired now, actually was an acquaintance of Prince Philip, and Prince Philip was very, very interested in this stuff. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave that there because I don't want to you know, go on for longer than what I have to. But I think there's a lot of information there that if you're interested, you can research that yourself. But I think what I've presented makes perfect sense, that there's a lot of money that has been taken out of the global economy and various economies like the US, Australia, the UK, and has been siphoned off into these secret space programs. And I think whatever it is that they've been developing over the last 40, 50 years is certainly ready to go. And I am thinking that they feel that there's some sort of extinction level event that is imminent. I don't know if that's true or not. I certainly don't want to scare you, but look, think of it this way. The universe has been made intrinsically kind, right? Otherwise, humanity would not have absolutely flourished the way that it has. So don't sit there and think, oh, you know, things are going to be terrible and I'm going to suffer and or possibly die and whatever. Don't be fatalistic like that. Strongly suggest that you get things in order and build a relationship with God, build a good relationship and rapport with your spouse and family. Be as open and transparent with each other as possible, because that's where the real value is. And that creates for a rich and authentic life, and there is nothing more rewarding. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave that there and love you and leave you, and I will speak with you soon. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll chat with you soon. There are some offers in the description below, so if you are looking for some resources like VPNs or international bank accounts or anything like that, there's some really good products in there. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.